Hi there, it's Natasha and thank you so much for joining me today for this little collection of items I have to share with you. I'm going to put down this 4¼ by 5½" piece of paper just as kind of a reference point for you for sizing. First up I have this leaf. It's got kind of the larger one and then the smaller one. You can cut these two little wire tabs there if you want to separate them. But in all honesty, I pretty much have been keeping them together recently just so I don't lose items, I find. But anyway, I've cut it out here in pink of all colours so that you can kind of see. And it's pretty decent size. What I actually had been doing when I've already used this on a couple of cards, and what I have been doing is cutting out parts of that larger leaf. So you can see like one here, I'm just cutting it down so that I can, make it look different and use it in different ways. Particularly that one at the top here, you can kind of cut it off there and it makes it for a really nice little trio of leaves. Anyway, next up I have, speaking of leaves, I have another one here, well, three actually, I guess. This little trio of leaves, again, I've kept them all joined together, but you could easily separate them just with some little wire snips. And again, I've cut them out here just so you can kind of get a rough idea of what they look like and what they cut like. All of these cut perfectly, even though they're quite intricate. And I have been having fun with these ones recently too. I think pretty much everything in the video today, all the dies I have already used on cards, so I really need to get them up and running and do some editing. Next up, this is one of my favorites. So these two flowers, once again, I have left them joined together, but just cut in these places with your wire snips and they will separate easily. But I have been using them, I've made a couple of cards with these and have been using them and just kept them joined together. But seriously, aren't these gorgeous? So one has kind of a slightly more solid center and they're both fairly intricate, but once again, I've had no problems with cutting them at all. So I've been really happy with that. But there's a couple of things that you could kind of do with these if you wanted to. I have cut one out in yellow here, and then all I did was add some vellum to the back, some heavyweight vellum, and then cut around it. So that's that top flower up there. So that looks super pretty, but also these are left over from a card that I had made in some gold foil cardstock, and oh my goodness, these flowers are just so gorgeous. But anyway, you'll see those in a video coming soon, hopefully. And then this one, I cannot tell you how many of these I have made for my daughter. These make the most gorgeous little, I've been calling them bumblebees, but they're bees nonetheless. And so I'm just zooming in. They are pretty small, and you can kind of see here, I'll get my big old fingers out of the way and use the tweezers to show you, but there's kind of two different types. I've made three here just to confuse you, but so you can kind of have the wings and the body part, kind of the top body part, and then the bottom body part. And I'm just going to put one together here to kind of show you how easy it is. So you just add a tiny little bit of glue to that body part and then put it on top. I really like that everything kind of just layers up so easily. And this is in real time. I obviously haven't sped this up. So it's super easy. You just hold them together until they dry for just a second. And then the wings on the back, I'm just going to add a little bit more liquid glue. And I like that the wings, like, you don't have to attach them each little wing separately. It's just you attach it under the whole body so it's nice and easy and not too fiddly. And there's kind of two different wing styles. So it's kind of the wings out to the side like it might be flying, and then that one there with the wings kind of back a little bit. But anyway, these are so cute. Next up, I have these kind of enamel dots. Again, guys, these are my latest obsession. So these ones are matte colored, so they're not shiny, and the blue ones are shiny ones. And I have, again, just been using these so much recently. So I must admit, I have a whole bunch of them on the way. I think they're about maybe like $1.50 or so each, which is a really good price in comparison to others. Next up, I have a few stencils. So this one I have here, and this is the pattern that it creates if you were to just do it as is. But this one here, I had a little plather stencil, and again, this is just on copy paper. So it's just to show you guys, it's nothing special. So I did it like normal, and then if you just turn the stencil one, you'll end up with a kind of cross thatch pattern on those stripes there. And then of course, to do the middle ones, I just shift the pattern across a little bit. And if you're worried about your aim, you just use a little bit of tape to mask off the other areas. Next up is this one, and again I've just done you a little sample on some copy paper, just super basic, so that you can get an idea of what they look like when they're kind of stenciled and done. But this one is very cool. It's kind of trippy on the eye. Next up, I have this kind of, I don't know, shattered glass, spiderweb, rocks. You could kind of make it into anything, I guess. And again, I've just done a quick sample so that you can get a bit of an idea. And last stencil for today, this one makes a cool pattern, is these kind of circles, crazy circles. And then I have one last quick thing to show you. This one is this stamp set that I picked up. And again, if you can take that 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card behind it as a reference point. And I hope to be using this one coming up really soon in a card. So it's just got those 3 different designs, and one each on a square and a circle. Anyway, that was my little haul for today. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're interested in anything, I'll try and leave the links down below in the description box. Thanks, and I'll see you next time. Bye!